Greetings! In this video, we will create the elements of the mouth, chin, and jaw. We'll create the bottom of the jaw and the interior of the mouth in an upcoming video, but for now, we'll just concentrate on this topology with special attention given to the edge that runs from the corner of the nostril down to the corner of the mouth, the so-called nasolabial fold, which is pronounced in this character, so we'll pay special attention to that. Let's get started. If we look at our existing nose, I left off the last lesson mentioning that we need an extra edge here. Now we don't want to just come and insert an edge loop. If I do that, I'm going to temporarily add that. We've got extra edges here and in the interior, and we don't need those. So that would be an inefficient edge flow. Where could we use some additional information? Well, we could drive this around, and that would help the transition from the interior nostril to the front of the face, and also give ourselves a loop around the nostril as it comes in. It's a little bit soft here, so with that extra edge, we could make this part of the nostril more pronounced. We'll come and we'll use the multi-cut just in its default. We're not holding the control key or the shift key, and I'll just click on this edge and drive it, and then we'll click here somewhere in the 20% range and here, and come around and click there, and when we're done we'll hit return. And we want to now weld these two together, so hit the Q key to get out of the multi-cut, come to the target weld, make sure center is selected, and we'll just click, drag, and drop, and I'll use the move tool and we'll just pull this out a little bit to see that flow around. Now we've got this try here, but that's actually opportune because we can use our multi-cut, add a edge there, and now we've got that extra edge that we wanted. We didn't drive unnecessary edge loop, and we, in order to create this, we gave ourselves some geometry where we could use it. And so there we are prepared to move on to the top of the mouth. We'll start that process with a plane. I'm going to make 2, 2 with divisions 1 and 1, and we'll make this forward facing on the Z. We'll hit create, and we can place this in each window. We'll pull that down to the lip there, and we'll grid snap it over. So that's the reason we made it 2, so that we could make a nice grid snap. We'll duplicate this, and we'll put this down on the bottom lip, and we can check it in this view. So we have the top lip, bottom lip, and they're just forward facing. And then we'll make one more duplicate, edit duplicate, and we'll pull this over and we'll begin to work on the corner of the mouth. We'll place this in the side view, but we're going to leave it forward facing while we work out this little bit of topology. We want these two vertexes to be very narrow. This will be our corner, and we'll rotate this around and maybe scale it down a little bit. So this will function as the corner of the mouth, and it will run up to the nostril. I'm going to grab the top and bottom edge, and we'll extrude those at the same time, and we'll just use the offset. I'll just drive the offset. We just need to get those out a little bit because we're going to reshape them with their vertexes. And these 3 interior vertexes are close, and then this is what's driving us around. And we'll be able to create nice clean loops around the mouth as we shape the lips. Now, this would be hard to see in the side view, and in fact, we need to rotate it about 45 degrees so that we can see it, right? Not all the way sideways, because then it would be flat in this direction. And so we want to just kind of find a happy medium between the two. And we can even come and see here, we might want to, based on our edge flow here, we might want to pull this forward in that particular view. And these are a little far out. Maybe pull those in, and then right, we're not going to spend a lot of time, as I mentioned in previous videos, getting the vertex placement perfect. We're more concerned with the number of edges and the direction of the edges, but we can get things closer than they were. Okay, Now what we want to do is, well, let's give these two faces on the part of the middle lip. We'll grab those edges. Can you see? We've got those two interior edges, and we're just going to slide those back a little bit and maybe pull these out a little bit. So now we can see them. Right, we could even rotate this a little bit, and that's the front of the top of the lip. And then we'll come and grab all three in object mode, and we'll hit combine. So we're going to combine these three planes, actually five, and then we can just bridge. And this is a common technique as we're working around a volumetric object, is to define 2 points and then bridge between rather than try to extrude all the way around. So we'll give ourselves one long bridge here. We'll add 2 divisions, and then we can come and it gets us most of the way there. But we'll pull these out. I'll use the square here that's constraining me on the X and the Z, and just pull that out. Then pull that out and get a basic contour. And we can do the same on the bottom here. We'll bridge, give ourselves 2 extra divisions, just 2. And we'll come and with the move tool and constraining ourselves to the X and the Z, we'll pull that out, and we have just a rudimentary, just a real elementary lip, and we'll combine this now with our existing nose. We'll hit combine, and here is the important part of the lesson. We want this edge and this edge, so we'll zoom in there so that this edge and this edge, and then that center line is what's coming into the interior of the mouth. So we'll do we could do these all at the same time, but let's do it one at a time just so that we can see what's being bridged to what. And we could relax this a little bit, and we could pull this one down a little bit so that you see the bridge there. And we can go ahead and just do these together. I'm holding the shift key and double clicking to get those, and we'll hit bridge. And we are bridging and not welding because we can use this extra geometry. Where the face meets the lips, there is a ridge. And so we want the extra set of faces to be able to generate that little crease where your lip meets the mouth. I'm going to pull that over. Again, not too terribly concerned with perfection at this point, just trying to get the basic edge flow. Okay, and then I mentioned we had this running around so that this will give us a loop. And actually, before I do that, let's do just a tiny bit of refinement here. I could see that that was off. Also, I'm a little bit far out here, so let's use soft select. I can grab those vertexes. We can hit the B key for soft select. If you want to hold the B, right, just scrub left, right, reminder, and we'll just pull that in a little bit. That means that this, because we had soft select on, I'll turn that off. We'll come and grab and just pull that out a little bit. And maybe pull that. So something like that, but it's the edge flow. If we double click this edge, right, we see that it's coming from the corner of the nose to the corner of the mouth. And then we'll be able to pull this over the top and create that very familiar pronounced shape, especially on this character. Okay, I was just about to add an edge loop here. And right, we've got the edge loop on the mouth, we'll have an edge loop on the eye. We have this edge, the chin to the bottom of the ear. Those are the important edges so that when we're deforming the character later on, we can simply drive a set of clusters and it appears as though the muscles of the face are coordinating together. I added this edge loop here, and I'm just going to pull that straight out on the Z, just to give us a little bit of a lip look. At the very end, we're going to come back and detail all of this, but we're just getting the topology right now. Okay, so there's our basic, very basic mouth. It's following the contour. Let's create the chin. We'll start with a sphere, And we're going to use the sphere a few times. If you wanted to go up and just put these into your dialog box, that would probably be a good idea. But I just manually did it here in the inputs. I'm going to come into the front view, F key, and we'll delete the bottom half. We'll place it in this view. So this is where our chin goes. I'm constrained. I don't want to pull it over. I'm going to rotate it, hold the J key, rotate that forward, and we'll scale it somewhere in the vicinity of that chin. And again, this character reference has a very pronounced chin. And then in the side view, we'll pull this forward. And now that we have it in position, we're going to rotate it down a little bit. We want that pole, right, to be facing about 30 degrees with that chin there. And maybe pull it out just a bit. And now we can begin producing the jaw just based on this. And let's delete one half. So we'll combine this. We'll just come and get these both in object mode. We'll come to combine. And the first set is easy. We'll just grab this edge, and we'll hit bridge. You want it to look, and that's pretty close to the reference there. And then we're going to bridge around. We're going to extrude around, I should say, and then bridge back. And we'll come up to that corner. So to that corner of the mouth, we'll concentrate on this area. So 1, 2, 3, 4, just those 4. We'll hit extrude, and it might be helpful to use the dialog box that pops up. So we could drive the Z, and then drive the offset. So maybe a little offset, and then you can see we want the Z back, and we're just getting a basic. We want to look in the side, maybe a little less on the Z, something like that. And then we'll come and target weld this back in. And actually, I want this to be target. I want to pull this vertex to the chin shape. So there we go. I had center originally. We want target. And you could do a little bit of refining, but we'll try to finish the thought here. Now it'll be 3, right, because we're going to bridge back. We'll hit extrude. We'll drive the offset. Take a look at that. If you want to go this way or that way, it's the Z. And then we'll bridge these. Yep. And we'll do one more. Now this, we might get this a little bit wrong, but it's again the topology. So we'll hit extrude, we'll drive that out, offset, and actually I want to be in it looks like it'll be a little bit of the negative Z direction. You could look in your other view, and we went a little bit beyond the jawline. We'll come back and match the vertexes to that jawline. And this will conclude the side of the jaw. We'll come back, and the bottom transitions the bottom of the chin to the front of the neck, and then the side of the neck. So there's a little bit of a challenge there, and we'll handle that upcoming. But let's get our edges a little bit better. So this one is the conclusion that is following this part of the jaw, and we'll just relax those a little bit. You could relax even the front here. Maybe that should be coming around so that that cylinder doesn't, for that sphere doesn't feel like a distinct shape. And if we hit 3, yeah, we've got our chin there. Now the final thing we want to do is give ourselves a little bit of extra geometry here for that fold where the cheek kind of comes over this edge here. So we're going to need an extra edge loop here. We'll drive these edges up a little bit. So I'm going to grab those top vertexes, and in this front view, I'm just going to pull these up a little bit. We'll pull this one in, grab these and pull them up, and we'll contour that around. And this is where our eye will come in. So this edge is important. This is the edge that will meet the eye loop. We can also pull, yeah, and so we'll need to remodel that kind of bump in the nose there. And we're going to give ourselves an extra edge here. So with the multi-cut, we're going to come and you can put it at 50%. That would make sense. Put that right at 50%, and maybe that's where the new bridge, no, that looks good. Okay, hit the Q key. Whenever you use the multi-cut, right, it stays there, and it's often, you'll go to click on something else and forget that you had the multi-cut. So after using the multi-cut, if I haven't already mentioned that, I may have mentioned it in the other video, just immediately hit the Q key so that you're back to the select tool and you're not accidentally making cuts. So now we'll come and we'll grab this edge to here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll hit extrude, and again, oops, we'll see that local, and we do want it coming forward. That's a little bit too much, and so I'll pull the offset back. Maybe that's a little too much on the Z. Something like that. And we can minimize it or maximize it later on. And then we'll come and use the target weld. Right, I'll just click off to make sure I don't have anything. And on this case, yeah, let's pull this up to there. And so this will be the area that comes over on the cheek. And we could slide that over. And then, of course, we could bridge these. And that's about where we want to leave off. We've got the lips. We're set up to be able to build the interior of the mouth. We've got a chin and a basic jawline. And let's see what that looks like here. Yep, and that's basically following. If you wanted to come and maybe just pull that up to meet that. And this one would come over here. So that is basically where we're going to leave that off. And in the next video, we'll create the eye and cheekbone, forehead, and then in a additional video, we'll come back and create the rest of the elements of the skull, bottom of the chin, and neck. And then we'll be done. Okay, be sure to increment and save. Hope you are incrementing and saving that whole time. Questions in the discussion forum.